if we didn't have clothes, then that would be very weird. Welcome to the Eagle Eye. Let's start Volume 4 with Alexis with headlines.
Hi, I'm Alexis with headlines. With world news, on Wednesday the Taliban paraded around the streets of southern Afghan city of Kandahar with dozens of American-made armored vehicles along with newly seized weapons at victory celebrations. With national news, the flood walls of New Orleans, a system that was built by the government and held no success against Hurricane Katrina 16 years ago, stood its ground against Hurricane Ida on Monday. That same day, a western suburb area in Plasse was the victim of flooding, leaving residents to be rescued. As the storm continued northeast, it has caused flash flooding in the New England, killing 11. Indiana news: an Indiana lawsuit was filed against Treasurer Kelly Mitchell by a former top officer staffer who claims Mitchell bypassed required approval from other state agencies by giving the contracts for lobbying and financial services without competitive bids. Indiana Governor Holcomb is welcoming a U.S. Department of Defense plan to temporarily house up to 5,000 Afghan refugees at Camp Atterbury, 48 miles north of Austin, saying, "I do believe that folks will fall in love with Indiana much as we have," Holcomb said, "and I hope some of this talent stays close." Local news: Crothersville School Superintendent Terry Gooden is looking into using federal CARES funding to install solar panels on the school. He said the project will allow our school corporation and community to do its part in helping improve the environment and slow global warming. Now back to you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Alexis. Next, the Eagle Labor Day pool.
In the late 1800s, at the height of the Industrial Revolution, average Americans worked 12-hour days, 7 days a week. Children as young as 5 or 6 worked in factories and mills. Workers organized strikes, and some turned into violent riots, such as the Haymarket riot. Congress passed an act to make Labor Day a legal holiday in an attempt to quell the dissent. On June 28, 1894, President Grover Cleveland signed it into law. Ever since, we've celebrated Labor Day on the first Monday of September. Thanks to all those who labor.
What I am proud of that is produced by American labor is our basic food goods that come from Morgan Foods.
I'd like to say to the American workers, thank you. Our country couldn't get by without you. Our businesses couldn't get by without you. So we want to thank the frontline workers. Also, I am thankful for all the goods and services that's produced by American workers, because they provide our way of living. We couldn't be the same without them. So thank you.
What I personally think is that you need to appreciate the workers that keep the stores running and help you find your things. And
I am thankful for people producing clothes for us, because otherwise we wouldn't have them. And if we didn't have clothes, then that would be very weird.
I just want to say thank you, and I'm thankful for people who do processed meat and make it healthy for me to eat, so I can eat it without getting sick.
I'm thankful for American labor, because we wouldn't have food, drinks, or anything if it weren't for people working in America.
I want to thank everybody over the COVID period for all the nurses and doctors that worked really hard to save people's lives, even though they don't want to be vaccinated. But it is a self-choice. I do say that, but it's hard on them and their families.
I totally agree with what she said. I'm thankful for even all the pastors that have worked through the COVID, shut down their congregate or shut down their churches, and They just did all of the COVID restrictions, even though it was like hard on them, especially the elderly people.
Yeah.
They've done video services for all the elderly, which is awesome. Yeah.
Great.
And the military. We want to thank our military for all their hard work. They've helped in the schools. They've worked overseas to save everybody and to help us be free, for our country to be free.
I'm thankful this Labor Day for the American worker, and especially what comes to mind to me is laborers in foundries. My dad worked for many years in a hot, dangerous foundry to supply for my family. It's hot work, and I really appreciate the people who do those jobs. I've seen it firsthand, the effects and how dirty it is. It's not pleasant. That's our American worker, though, doing what has to be done.
And I'm thankful for the car companies because I love to drive.
I'm thankful for Labor Day because we don't have to go to school on Mondays.
Now let's head over to the oil spill in the Mediterranean with Guy.
Today I'm going to be doing a piece on a Syrian oil spill that spread across the Mediterranean and could reach Cyprus on Wednesday. Alright, an oil spill originated from Syria's largest refinery and is growing and spreading across the Mediterranean Sea and could reach the island of Cyprus by Wednesday. Cyprus authorities have said, Syrian officials said last week, that a tank filled with 15,000 tons of fuel had leaked in since August 23rd at a thermal power plant on the Syrian coastal city of Banis, covering around 800 square kilometers, which is about 309 miles, and that equals up to around the same size as New York City. So an oil spill almost the size of New York City in the Mediterranean Sea, and is being spread. Turkey, which shares a border with the coastline of Syria, has also been drawn in to contain the spill. This is the second major oil spill in the eastern Mediterranean this year. In February, an oil spill off the coast of Israel devastated the country's beaches and left tar deposits across the Lebanese coast.
Thanks, Guy. Don't go anywhere, Eagles. We will be right back after a word from our sponsors, the sophomore quesadilla.
Man, I'm hungry. I don't get anything to eat, man. Me either. What do they have here? They have quesadillas! They have quesadillas! Oh my god! Can I get a quesadilla? Oh my quesadilla. Man. There's your quesadilla, ladies. Oh my god, thank you so much. Only $4? Holy cow.
Now let's head over to Alexis's interview with Mr. White.
My name is Mr. White, and I am the Geometry and Algebra 2 teacher at Austin now.
Did you choose to switch to the high school?
Yes, I made the decision to come to the high school after I found out that the position opened up.
Do you prefer to teach higher level math?
I prefer the higher level math. I enjoyed and thoroughly loved teaching the younger kids in the middle school, but it kind of gave me a view of where we were at mathematically. But I really do enjoy teaching upper level mathematics.
Outside of teaching, is there anything else that you do?
I am a jack of all trades, master of none. I do radio for basketball games here at Austin, and I also do radio for football at Scottsburg. I am a music minister at Austin Christian Church. I am on the museum board for the Scott County Heritage Museum, and I'm actually a musician. I play in a band with actually Mr. Hoagland and a few other of our friends, and we travel around and play a lot of music.
How do you think this year is going so far?
Other than the fact that we've had to be out for a couple of weeks due to COVID, I think this year is going well. I think it's going to be a few years before we recover completely from the loss of time due to the COVID situation. But I think so far this year seems to be going really well.
Do you have any advice for the freshmen or any other students?
For the freshmen, give it some time. Allow yourself to get used to being here in the high school. And for the rest of the students, please understand, anytime that you end up being virtual or anything like that, you have to be able to discipline yourself to actually learn. Myself, I'm actually a student myself doing my master's degree online, and I have learned that I have to also discipline myself to be a self-learner. And what this does is also teach you that the fact is you're going to have to learn on your own eventually. So learning is a lifetime thing.
Thank you, Alexis. Now let's head to nature with God. Thank you guys. Hey, have a good Labor Day. Thank you, Eagles, for tuning into the Eagle Eye. And remember, soar high, Eagles.